Captain Jun-Su stood tall before the Galactic Council. His back was straight, his face calm. Inside, his heart raced. This meeting was important. The faces of 50 alien species looked down at him from high seats that formed a half circle. None of them looked happy to see him. The human colony on Proxima Centauri requests permission to expand mining operations, Jun said. His voice did not shake. He had practiced this. We have followed all rules set by the Council. A tall, blue-skinned alien named Kale leaned forward. Humans always want more, don't they? His voice was soft, but filled with dislike. More land, more resources, more weapons. Jun kept his face blank. Getting angry would only make things worse. Humans were already seen as dangerous. Earth, with its high gravity, extreme weather, and many predators, was classified as a death world. Its people were called Death Worlders. It was not a nice name. We only ask for what we need, Jun replied, just like any other world. You are not like any other world, said Kale. Your kind evolved in conditions that created savages. Jun felt his jaw tighten. For 20 years, humans had tried to prove they belonged among the stars. They followed every rule. They limited their military. They shared their resources. And still, they were treated like animals wearing clothes. The request is denied, said the council leader, a small gray being with 6 eyes. This meeting is over. Jun bowed, as custom required. Thank you for your time. The words tasted bitter. In a small room nearby, Intelligence Officer Yunha watched the meeting on a screen. She wore the same blue uniform as Jun, but with silver stripes on the sleeves. Her job was to find information. And lately, that information was troubling. Another denial, she said to herself. She added it to her report. This was the 7th time in 3 months that the Council had blocked human activities for no good reason. Her computer terminal beeped. A message from one of her agents appeared. Yunho read it, and her eyes widened. This can't be right, she whispered. The message showed ships moving toward Proxima Centauri IV, a small mining colony. The ships belonged to the Viridian Dominion, a race known for their peaceful ways. But these ships were armed, and they were trying to hide their approach. Yunha pressed a button. Captain Jun-Su, please come to Intelligence Room 3. Urgent. Jun looked at the screen, his face growing dark. You're sure about this? Yes, said Yunha. The Viridians are moving warships to our colony. The same colony you just asked permission to expand. The same colony the Council knows is not well defended, Jun added. He ran a hand through his short black hair. We need to warn our people. I've already sent a message, said Yunha, but they might not have time to evacuate. Jun nodded. We need to bring this to the Council. They won't help us, Yunha said. You saw how they looked at you today. We have to try, said Jun. If we go around them, it will only confirm what they think of us. 1 hour later, Jun and Yunha stood before the Council again. This time, Yunha showed images of the Viridian ships. These vessels are armed and headed for our colony, she explained. We ask for Council intervention. The room grew quiet. Then Kale laughed. Actually laughed. Officer Yunha, he said, your imagination is impressive. These are clearly trade ships on a standard route. They are disguised as trade ships, Yunha insisted. We have detected weapons. The Council leader raised a hand. Enough. The Viridians are founding members of this Council. Humans have been part of our community for barely 2 decades. Who should we believe? Jun stepped forward. Then send observers. Verify our claims. There is no need, said the leader. This matter is closed. As Jun and Yunha left the chamber, their communicators beeped at the same time. They looked at the message and their faces went pale. The Viridian ships had arrived at Proxima Centauri IV, and they had opened fire. The rescue ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Proxima Centauri IV. Captain Jun-Su stood on the bridge, his hands tight around the rail. The planet looked peaceful from space. Blue oceans, green land, white clouds. It was hard to believe what had happened there. Any response to our signals? Jim asked. The communications officer shook her head. Nothing, sir. Complete silence. Ian had joined June at the front window. The colony had 5,000 people, she said quietly. Miners, farmers, families. June nodded. Take us down, he ordered. Be ready for anything. The ship landed near the main colony. The buildings were still standing, but there was no movement. No people walking. No vehicles moving. Just silence. June led the first team out. They wore light armor and carried medical kits. They still hoped to find survivors. Stay alert, June said. We don't know if the Viridians are still here. They walked through empty streets. Doors stood open. Meals sat uneaten on tables. It was as if everyone had disappeared in the middle of daily life. Then they found the first bodies. They didn't even try to take anything, said a soldier, looking at the homes still full of belongings. This wasn't about resources. No, said June. It was about us. About humans. They reached the colony center. The large building had been a community space where people gathered for meetings and celebrations. Now it was filled with bodies. Men, women, children. All killed with energy weapons. Sir, called a soldier. We found something in the communication center. The communication center was a small room with computer equipment. Most of it was destroyed, but one screen still worked. A man's face appeared in a recorded message. He looked young, with dirt on his face and fear in his eyes. My name is Du Yun, he said. I'm a mining engineer. The Viridians came without warning. They said they were here for a trade meeting, but as soon as they landed, they started killing everyone. His voice shook. I'm hiding in the mountains. I managed to get some footage before I escaped. The council needs to see this. The Earth needs to see this. The screen changed to show Viridians walking through the colony. The blue-skinned aliens were shooting people who tried to run. They were laughing. Look at them run, said one Viridian. These Deathworlders think they belong among civilized species. Another Viridian aimed his weapon at a human child. This is a mercy. Better to remove them now before they spread. The video ended. June's face was like stone. Find Du Yun, he ordered. He's our witness. It took 3 days to search the mountain ranges. The terrain was rough, with deep caves and high cliffs. But humans were good at surviving in harsh places. That's why they were called Deathworlders. They found Du Yun in a cave near a water source. He was weak but alive. You came, he said when June approached. I wasn't sure anyone would. We came, said June. And we're taking you home. Back on the ship, Du Yun watched as teams collected bodies for return to Earth. His eyes were empty. They were so confident, he said to Iana. So sure that killing us was the right thing to do. The council will have to act now, Iana said. We have proof. Du Yun laughed, a hard sound with no joy. Do you really believe that? June joined them, his face grim. The Viridians are denying everything. They claim pirates must have attacked the colony. Pirates with Viridian ships and Viridian weapons? Iana asked. The council is calling it unclear evidence, June said, but they've agreed to a special hearing. Du Yun looked out the window at his dead colony. And if they still do nothing? June didn't answer, but his eyes had changed. The diplomatic mask was cracking. Underneath was something the aliens had always feared, a human who had reached his limit. If they do nothing, June finally said, then we stop asking for permission. The Galactic Council chamber was full. News of the attack had spread. Many wanted to see what would happen. Captain Jun Su stood in the center of the room. Beside him stood Du Yun, still thin and pale from his days hiding in the mountains. We thank the council for this hearing. Jun began. His voice was steady. We bring evidence of a crime against humanity. The large screens around the room showed the video Doomborn had recorded. The images were clear. Viridian soldiers killing human colonists, children being shot, buildings being burned. When the video ended, the room was quiet. June looked up at the circle of alien faces. 5,000 humans were killed, he said. This was not a mistake. This was not a misunderstanding. This was planned murder. The Viridian representative stood. He was tall and blue-skinned, with long fingers that moved as he spoke. This video has been changed, he said. It is not real. Humans are known for their tricky ways. They are trying to turn the council against us. Doomborn stepped forward. I was there, he said. His voice shook. I saw your people kill mine. I heard them laugh while they did it. The council leader raised a hand for quiet. We have studied the evidence, she said. We have spoken with many experts. June felt his heart beat faster. This was the moment of truth. Surely now, with clear proof, the council would act. The council has reached a decision, the leader continued. This incident is officially classified as an unfortunate cultural misunderstanding. The room erupted in noise. June couldn't believe what he had heard. Misunderstanding. He stepped forward. They killed everyone. They said they were removing us. How is that a misunderstanding? Captain Jun Su, the leader said coldly, control yourself. This is not Earth. We cannot tolerate Deathworlder displays of emotion here. You saw the video, Jun said. You heard their words. They killed us for being human. Kale, the blue-skinned alien who had mocked June before, spoke next. Perhaps the Viridians acted poorly, he said. But we must understand the fear they felt. Humans are dangerous by their very nature. We've done nothing to hurt anyone, Jun shouted. The leader's 6 eyes narrowed. This matter is closed. The council recommends that human settlements maintain better security in the future. Jun couldn't believe what he was hearing. Better security. So it's our fault that we were killed. Captain, the leader said, you forget your place. My place. Jun's voice was dangerous now. What exactly is my place here? A silence fell over the room. The leader looked at the other council members. Then she spoke words that would change everything. Humans were admitted to this council as a curiosity, she said. Your violent homeworld is interesting to study. Your labor is sometimes useful, but equals. She made a sound like laughter. You were never equals. Guards moved toward Jun and Doomborn. They were being removed from the chamber. We tried to be part of your community, Jun said as they pulled him away. We followed your rules. We trusted you. That was your mistake, Kale said. Civilization is not for Deathworlders. As the guards dragged him to the door, Jun pulled out his communication device. The guards didn't stop him. They thought he was harmless. He sent a simple message to Earth. Protocol Omega is now in effect. The lead guard looked at him. What does that mean? Jun looked back at the council one last time. It means we're done pretending. Deep under the Himalaya mountains on Earth, Commander Taiwan sat in a dark room. Around him, screens showed information from across the galaxy. He was waiting. For 20 years, he had been waiting. His computer beeped. A message appeared. Protocol Omega is now in effect. Taiwan closed his eyes for a moment. Then he pressed a button and spoke. This is Commander Taiwan. Protocol Omega is confirmed. I repeat, Protocol Omega is confirmed. All units activate. All around him, lights began to turn on. The mountain was waking up. Engineer Su Jin was working when the alert came. She was in a large room filled with strange machines. Her hands were deep inside an engine that most aliens would not understand. It's time, said a voice over the speakers. Su Jin nodded to herself. She had hoped this day would never come, but she was ready. She walked to a wall and placed her hand on a scanner. A hidden door opened. Behind it was a room filled with people working at computers. Start the quantum network, she ordered. Contact all hidden bases. A young man looked up. All of them. even the ones in alien territory. All of them. Su Jin said, "It's time to show what we've really been building." Taiwan walked through a tunnel that seemed to go on forever. The walls were smooth metal. The lights were bright. After 10 minutes of walking, he reached a massive door. 2 guards stood in front of it. "Commander," they said, stepping aside. The door opened slowly. Behind it was a space so large it was hard to see the other side. And in this space were ships. Not the small, weak ships that Earth showed to the galaxy. These were warships. Hundreds of them. A woman approached Taiwan. "The fleet is ready, sir," she said. "All ships report full power." "Good," said Taiwan. "Begin launch sequence. I want all ships ready to leave Earth orbit in 2 hours." The woman looked surprised. 2 hours? "But sir, that's fast." "Yes, but we've practiced for this. Our people in space need us now." On the other side of the mountain, Su Jin stood in front of a different kind of weapon. This room was filled with small containers. Each one held something invisible, but deadly, specially made diseases that would affect alien bodies but not human ones. "Dr. Yunwu's work," she said to herself. For years, Dr. Yunwu had studied alien biology. The aliens thought he was looking for ways to help them. They didn't know he was also finding their weaknesses. Su Jin's assistant entered the room. "Engineer Su Jin, all systems are online. The quantum network is active. We are receiving messages from all hidden bases." "And what do they report?" Su Jin asked. "All ready. The aliens have no idea what's coming." Taiwan entered a room filled with people in uniform. They all stood when he entered. "For 20 years, he began, we have shown the galaxy what they expected to see. Weak humans trying to fit in. Simple weapons, basic ships. We let them think we were just barely able to reach the stars." He touched a screen, and an image appeared. It showed the hidden fleet. "This is what we've really been building. Ships that can outrun anything in the galaxy. Weapons that can cut through any shield. Technology we developed in secret while pretending to need their help." The room was silent. "The Council has shown us their true feelings," Taiwan continued. "They watched our people die and called it a misunderstanding. They called us unequal, uncivilized." His eyes were hard now. "It's time to show them what Deathworlders can really do." The Viridian battle fleet moved toward Earth. There were 50 ships, all large and powerful. Admiral Zex of the Viridian forces stood on his command bridge, looking at the image of the blue planet ahead. "Such a primitive world," he said to his officers. "High gravity, dangerous animals, extreme weather. No wonder the humans are so aggressive." His second-in-command nodded. "After we take this world, the Council will thank us. Humans are too dangerous to be allowed in civilized space." Zex smiled. "Their ships are weak. Their weapons are simple. This will be easy." Just then, a soldier called out, "Admiral, we're picking up new signals from Earth." "What kind of signals?" Zex asked. "Ships, sir. Many ships. They're coming from inside the planet." Zex laughed. "Impossible. Our scans would have detected any large fleet." The screen in front of them changed. It showed the Earth, and from it, ships were rising. Not the small, weak ships the humans had always used. These were different. Sleek, fast, powerful. Hundreds of them. Zex's smile disappeared. Lieutenant Jiho led his team through the halls of the Viridian command ship. They moved fast and quiet. The Viridians didn't know they were there. "How did you get on board?" a voice asked in Jiho's ear. It was Commander Tadwan, speaking from Earth. "New teleport technology," Jiho answered quietly. "The kind we didn't tell the Council about." Jiho's team reached a door. One soldier placed a small device on it. The door opened without a sound. Inside were Viridians working at control stations. They looked up in surprise as the humans entered. They reached for weapons. But the humans were faster, much faster. On their home world, with its high gravity, humans had evolved to be quick and strong. In space, with lighter gravity, they could move like lightning. The Viridians never had a chance. Admiral Zex watched in horror as his fleet fell apart. Human ships moved between his vessels with impossible speed. Their weapons cut through Viridian shields like they weren't even there. "How is this possible?" he shouted. "They're just humans. Primitives." His ship shook. The lights flickered. "Sir," said an officer, "we've lost contact with decks 3 through 7. Someone is on board." "That's not possible," Zex said. But he was afraid now. The door to the bridge opened. Lieutenant Jai-Ho and his team walked in. The Viridians raised their weapons, but the humans didn't seem worried. "Don't bother," said Jai-Ho. "Your weapons have been disabled." Zex stood tall, trying to look brave. "How did you do this? How do you have technology this advanced?" Jai-Ho smiled, but his eyes were cold. "We've always had it. We just didn't show you." "The Council will never allow this," Zex said. "They will destroy your world for this attack." Jai-Ho laughed. "The Council? The same Council that called the murder of our people a misunderstanding." He stepped closer to Zex. "The Council isn't coming to save you. In fact, they're a bit busy right now." He touched a device on his wrist, and a screen on the wall showed images from across the galaxy. Human ships appearing near alien worlds. Human soldiers boarding space stations, all moving with the same deadly speed. "While you were planning to attack Earth," Jai-Ho said, "we were putting our people in position all over the galaxy. You thought we were weak because we followed your rules. But we're from a death world, remember. We're used to fighting to survive." Zex sank into his chair. He understood now. The humans had never been weak. They had just been patient. "What do you want?" he asked finally. Jai-Ho's answer was simple. "Justice." Dr. Yunwu stood in a clean white room. Around him, people in protective suits worked with small containers. Each container held something that couldn't be seen. Tiny organisms designed to target alien biology. "Are they ready?" asked Commander Ta-One through a screen on the wall. "Yes," Yunwu replied. "The delivery systems are prepared. We can deploy them at any time." Ta-One nodded. "Wait for my signal. We want to be careful with these weapons." Yunwu smiled sadly. "For 10 years, I studied alien medicine. I helped cure their diseases. They never thought I was also learning how their bodies work and how to shut them down." "Will it kill them?" Ta-One asked. "No, these are not designed to kill. They will just make them sleep for a while. We're not monsters, even now." Ta-One looked relieved. "Good. Prepare your team. When Captain Jun-Su gives the word, we need to be ready." Captain Jun-Su sat in the command chair of Earth's flagship, Deathworld Rising. The ship was huge, with weapons that no alien had ever seen before. Around him, officers worked at their stations. The main screen showed the Galactic Council's main space station. "Sir," said a young officer, "we've secured the station. No casualties on either side." Jun nodded. "And the council members, all contained in the main chamber, as you ordered." Jun stood up. "It's time to have a talk with them." The council chamber looked different now. The high seats where aliens had looked down on humans were empty. Instead, the council members stood in the center, surrounded by human soldiers. They looked afraid. Jun walked in, followed by Yunha and Du-Yun. "What is the meaning of this?" demanded the council leader. "This is an act of war." "No," said Jun calmly. "This is a correction of a mistake. You thought humans were weak. You were wrong." He touched a device on his wrist, and screens around the room lit up. They showed human ships near important alien worlds, human soldiers in control of space stations, human forces everywhere. "How is this possible?" asked Kale, the blue alien who had always been cruel to humans. "Your technology was primitive." Yunha stepped forward. That's what we wanted you to think. Every time we met with you, we learned. Every cultural exchange was a chance to study your weaknesses. Every scientific meeting was an opportunity to see what you knew and what you didn't know. While you were looking down on us, said June, we were building, planning, preparing for the day you showed your true feelings about Deathworlders. The council leader's 6 eyes blinked rapidly. What do you want? First, justice for the 5,000 humans killed on Proxima Centauri IV, said June. The Viridians will answer for their crimes. And then, asked the leader, then we make a new galaxy, one where Deathworlders aren't treated like animals. At that moment, across the galaxy, Dr. Yanwu's special weapons were being deployed. On the Viridian homeworld, people suddenly felt tired. They fell asleep where they stood. The same happened on other worlds that had threatened humans. Not all aliens were affected, only those who had shown that they couldn't be trusted. The sleeping agent is working, said Yanwu to Su-jin, who stood beside him. They'll be unconscious for about 6 hours, just enough time for our forces to secure their weapons. Su-jin watched the screens showing sleeping aliens. All those years, she said, they thought we were studying alien biology to help them. They never imagined we were also finding ways to protect ourselves. Knowledge is power, said Yanwu. They gave us that knowledge freely because they didn't think we were smart enough to use it. Another Deathworlder advantage, Su-jin replied. When you have to be clever to survive, you learn to use everything you have. Captain Jun-su stood in a large room on the Earth flagship. Around a round table sat beings from 6 different worlds. None looked like humans, but they all shared one thing. They came from planets that the Council called Deathworlds. Thank you for coming, Jun said. We have all been treated as lesser beings for too long. A tall, rocky figure nodded. His skin looked like stone, with glowing orange lines running through it. He was Hajum, leader of the silicon-based people from Pyraxis, a world of active volcanoes and rivers of lava. The council told us we were too violent to have full rights, Hajun said. His voice rumbled like falling rocks. They never knew that we, too, were hiding our true strength. Next to him sat a being covered in blue scales. She had no legs, but a strong tail that moved like water. She was Min from the ocean world Aquarius, where crushing water pressure would kill most species. My people can survive depths that would crush council ships, Min said. Yet they called us primitive, because we did not build cities above the water. Around the table, the others told similar stories. Worlds with extreme cold, extreme heat, toxic air, or dangerous animals. All labeled as death worlds. All treated as less than civilized. For years, we have watched each other being mistreated, Jun said. Now it's time to work together. Hajun leaned forward. What do you propose? A new alliance, Jun replied. A coalition of Deathworlders. Together, we can reshape the galaxy into a place of true equality. Commander Taiwan looked at the battle plans on the large screen. The combined forces of Earth and the other Deathworld species were positioned near key council worlds. Are we ready? He asked. Eunha nodded. All ships report ready. The Pyraxis forces are in position near the Viridian homeworld. The Aquarius warriors have secured the water planets. Taiwan studied the map. And our special forces. Lieutenant Jaiho's teams are aboard each major council station. They're waiting for your signal. Taiwan took a deep breath. Tell all forces. Operation Justice begins now. Across the galaxy, the Deathworlders moved as one. On the Viridian homeworld, Hojun's forces took control with ease. The silicon beings, evolved to survive in molten lava, moved through the Viridian defenses like they weren't even there. Weapons that would hurt most species did nothing to their stone-like bodies. In the deep oceans of water worlds, Min's people disabled underwater bases that the council thought were hidden. The pressure that would crush other beings was nothing to them. And on every major space station, Human special forces teams moved with the speed and strength that came from growing up on a high-gravity world. The council races, used to fighting with rules and limitations, found themselves facing species that had evolved to survive the harshest conditions in the galaxy. Species that had learned to fight for their lives every day. It was no contest. Within one Earth day, the combined Ithworlder forces had taken control of all major council facilities. There was little bloodshed. Dr. Yunwu's sleeping agent had done its work well, and most of the resistance was over before it began. In the council chamber, Jun-Su met with representatives from the Deathworld Alliance. "The first phase is complete," he said. "Now comes the harder part. Building something new," He-Jun said. Jun nodded. "It would be easy to become what we hated, to treat them as they treated us. But that's not why we did this." Min moved forward on her powerful tail. "We did this so all worlds could be equal, not to create new masters." "Exactly," said Jun. "Now we need to show them what true civilization looks like." He touched his communication device. "Ring in the council leaders. It's time they learned about the new rules." 3 days after Operation Justice began, the council leaders sat in their own chamber. But now they sat at the bottom, looking up at seats filled with humans and other Deathworlders. The roles were reversed. The council leader with 6 eyes looked afraid. "What will happen to us now?" she asked. Captain Jun-Su walked to the center of the room. All eyes turned to him. "That is the question, isn't it?" he said. "What happens now? What would you do if our positions were reversed?" The leader lowered her eyes. "We would likely remove your power, perhaps restrict your worlds." Jun nodded. "That's what we expected." He looked around at the gathered aliens. "But that is not what we will do." Ian stepped forward with a small device. She placed it on the floor, and it projected a large image in the air. It was a document. "This is our proposal for a new galactic council," Jun said. "One where all worlds have equal voice and equal rights, where no one is judged by their planet of origin, but by their actions." The council members looked shocked. This was not what they had expected. "You're not going to punish us?" asked Kale, the blue-skinned alien who had always been cruel to humans. "There will be justice," Jun said firmly. "The leaders who ordered the attack on our colony will face trial, but we will not punish entire species for the actions of a few." He-Jun moved forward, his stone body making heavy sounds on the floor. "We do not want to rule over you. We want to rule with you." But Min added, her scaled body shining in the light, "There will be new rules." Jun touched the projected document, and it changed to show a list. "First, all technology will be shared equally among worlds," he said. "No more hiding advancements from primitive species. Second, all worlds have the right to defend themselves. No more forcing Deathworlders to limit their military, while others build weapons in secret. Third, attacks on any world will be treated as attacks on all worlds. What happened on Proxima Centauri IV will never happen again." The council leaders looked at each other. This was not the revenge they had feared. "Why?" asked the leader with 6 eyes. "Why show mercy when we showed none?" Du Yun, the survivor of the colony massacre, stepped forward. He had been quiet until now. "Because true civilization isn't about pretending to be something you're not," he said. "It's about knowing what you are capable of, and choosing a better path anyway." The room was silent. Then, slowly, the council leader stood. "We accept your terms," she said, "and we have much to learn about what civilization really means." Later on the Earth flagship, Jun-Su stood with the other Deathworlder leaders. They watched on screens as human ships helped council worlds restore their systems after the brief takeover. "Some of our people wanted harsher punishment," He-Jun said. "They wanted the council races to suffer as we suffered." "Many humans felt the same," Jun admitted. "But that would make us what we claim to hate." Min moved closer. "Will it work? This new council?" "It must," Jun said. "Because the alternative is endless war. And while we Deathworlders might win such a war, We would lose something more important, Du Yun finished. The chance to build something better than what came before. Outside the window of the ship, stars shone brightly. Among them were thousands of worlds, each with its own people, its own challenges, its own strengths. The galaxy will be watching us now, Jun said. They'll be waiting for us to act like the savage Deathworlders they always feared. Then we will show them something they don't expect, said Yunna. True strength isn't in destruction. It's in creation. 1 year later, the new Galactic Council met for the first time. The Great Chamber had been rebuilt. There were no high seats and low seats anymore. All representatives sat in a circle, equal in position and voice. Captain Jun Su, now Ambassador Jun Su, looked around the room with pride. Representatives from over 200 worlds filled the seats. Deathworlders and non-Deathworlders sat side by side. Old enemies were learning to work together. It is time, said He Jun, who now led the combined Deathworlder alliance. His stone body had been decorated with symbols of peace, glowing softly along his rocky skin. The chamber fell quiet as Du Yun walked to the center of the circle. He had become a symbol of the new era. The man who survived horror but chose hope. 1 year ago, Du Yun began. I watched my friends and neighbors die because they were seen as less than civilized, because they came from a world labeled as dangerous. The room was completely silent. Today, we sign a new galactic constitution, one that says all thinking beings have equal rights, no matter what kind of world gave them birth. He touched a control, and a large document appeared in the air above him. This constitution was written by people from 50 different worlds, worlds of fire and ice, worlds of water and stone, worlds of peace and worlds of challenge. All had a voice in its creation. Du Yun looked around the room, meeting many different kinds of eyes. Some asked why we Deathworlders didn't take revenge when we had the chance, why we didn't make those who hurt us suffer as we suffered. He paused. The answer is simple. True civilization isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about knowing exactly what you are capable of, and choosing when not to use that power. Throughout the chamber, heads nodded. Even those who had once looked down on Deathworlders understood now. We humans, and our fellow Deathworlders, never stopped being civilized. Du Yun continued. We simply stopped pretending that civilization means weakness. Real civilization requires strength. The strength to show mercy when you could take revenge. The strength to build when you could destroy. One by one, representatives came forward to sign the new constitution. Former enemies stood side by side. The document was signed in many different ways, with hands, claws, tendrils, and even thought-controlled devices for species with no physical way to write. Later that day, Jun Su stood with Yunha on a balcony overlooking the council city. Below them, people of many species walked together in the evening light. Did you ever think we would see this day? Yunha asked. Honestly, no, Jun replied. When I sent the Protocol Omega signal, I thought we were heading for war, not peace. What changed? Jun thought for a moment. We all did. When we stopped pretending to be less than we are, we found our true strength. And true strength doesn't need to crush others to prove itself. In a garden below, they could see Dr. Yunwu and Engineer Sujin watching their children play with young aliens from various worlds. The children didn't care what planets their playmates came from. They didn't know about death worlds and safe worlds. They only knew friends. That's the future, Jun said, pointing to the children. They won't have to pretend to be less to be accepted. Inha smiled. So in the end, the day Deathworlders stopped pretending to be civilized was the day we showed what civilization truly means, Jun finished. Above them, the first stars were appearing in the evening sky. Among them were thousands of worlds, each with its own people, its own story. But now those stories were beginning to weave together into something new and stronger. The Deathworlders had finally found their place among the stars. Not by hiding their strength, but by showing how that strength could be used to protect rather than destroy. And that was the greatest strength of all.